Come and do a power hour speed, clean and tidy and reset with me. We only have an hour and then I've got to get on with some other stuff. But in that hour, we are going to clean, we're going to tidy up and we're going to get some washing sorted and away. And we're going to do it together. If you're new around here, hi, my name's Rhiannon Morgan. Everyone calls me Rhi. I do lots of these little power hours to try and stay up on top of my home with 4 children, 3 living at home full time, plus our eldest who is in uni, so he's back and forth. But long story short, between having children and working, I'm sure you understand, it takes a lot to just stay on top of it. So we can do this together. I have ADHD, so there's no way I'm going to be cleaning or decluttering or tidying or anything like that without listening to / watching something. So you could watch a YouTube video like this one, but I really like these AirPod dupes, partly because they're pink. They do come in other colors, but I just put one in and while the other one's charging and I can listen to something like a podcast. I also have a podcast if you want to listen to one of those. I am putting on my indoor trainers. These are just my Skechers that have been through the washing machines. They're not dirty. They're not going to dirty up my house. And I feel like, I'm aware this is totally in my head, but I feel like they make me go faster. And when I put my shoes on, see the dirty outside ones versus the clean ones, because we don't want to wear dirty shoes in the house while we're cleaning, it defeats the object. But I feel like in my head, they make me go quicker. So we're going to start with the washing machine. This is a new-ish washing machine after our elder one died on me. And I was a few days without a washing machine. If you've been around here for a bit, I am a firm believer in the little and often method, as in I put laundry on every day so that it doesn't build up. I think this comes from feeling previously so overwhelmed. I know when we just had 1 child and then we moved to 2 and then obviously to 3 and to 4, but I can remember just feeling this overwhelm of not being able to stay on top of things and feeling like, why can't I just get everything done like everyone else can? Possibly the ADHD was a bit of a factor there, but also I wasn't especially raised to be organised. By the way, I'm emptying the fluff of the dryer here. Super important because it makes your dryer more efficient, but also it's a fire hazard if you don't do it. So please empty your dryer fluff, people. It's important. The dryer fluff bin was an addition. I think I got one of those in the old house initially because I kept running back and forth to the bin, and that's just wasted time. Anyway, over the years, as I've said, I've developed routines and things to make life easier. I've got 4 children, all of whom have autism. So if you're a parent of neurodiverse children, you'll know that there's just a little bit more to do than in your average family, a bit more to stay on top of. Things like perhaps a neurotypical child, if they haven't got the right jumper to wear, will just wear a different one. Whereas if a child with autism wants to wear a specific thing and they can't, then they're going to get really stressed out. So there's this extra element when you have a neurospicy family of stuff you've got to stay on top of just to make sure that no one has a meltdown. Sticking one of these little pods in the machine, by the way, and some smelly stuff. I do find if I use these smelly bead booster things as well as the law stuff, what's it called? Fabric softener and the beads and then the dryer sheets, the laundry smells amazing for so much longer. Like you can sniff it when you're getting dressed. It smells amazing. Anyway, what was I saying? See, hello ADHD brain. Anyway, putting the washing machine on, and then we are going to get back to what I was talking about, honestly. Routines, that was it, routines. So by staying on top of things and doing these little routines, things like doing laundry every day. And I've got so many different routines for so many different areas of our life that I have been talking about them, breaking them down section by section on my podcast. So do check out the podcast. There is an episode series over there all about routine, but also I have put together my Calm Start guide, which if you are getting started with routine, then you can grab that. I will put all the details on screen and down in the description. And that is a free printable to help you get started. It's also got some really fun printables you can use for your morning routine for your kids. So hopefully that will really help you. By the way, this is my little drying area that I have for drying stuff that can't go in the tumble dryer. So handy because I live in Wales. Hello to anyone else living in the UK. If you know, you know. You can't trust the weather. It'll say it's sunny and then it won't be. And there is this period of a good few months at least where we live where there are a lot of birds around, and even if it's not raining, birds poo a lot in the garden. So I don't dry laundry outside, A, because rain, and B, because bird poo. So I either dry things in the dryer or here in this little cupboard thing, which is literally a rail between the wall and the calyx. It's been a game changer having this little cupboard, I must admit. We did actually have a rail inside an airing cupboard in the cupboard in the last house, and I put one or two things sometimes upstairs in that airing cupboard. But again, this is a staying on top of it kind of thing, because if I let the laundry go and I don't do some every day, then there's this build up and I've not got enough space to dry. Again, if you're from the UK, you're driving indoors, if you know, you know. So that's the drying stuff, that like the wet stuff that's been hung up to dry. This stuff is stuff that's come out of the dryer and we're going to put it into people's individual boxes. The baskets at the bottom are for dirty stuff. So the one on the left is wet and dirty, and the two on the right I sort. They're empty for a moment. How exciting is that? Is there anything more thrilling than an empty laundry basket? It lasts a few seconds. Enjoy it while you can. Anyway, the dirty stuff goes underneath, and then I empty the stuff from the dryer. I plonk it in that basket. You can see two actually stacked one on top of the other, and then they get sorted into each person's box. And then my youngest is 8, so all of my children are more than capable of putting away their own clean, dry laundry. So this stuff gets sorted into their own box, and then once, twice, maybe a week, they get given their laundry, and it's like, hey, go pop this stuff away for mummy. Thanks very much. Literally started this system in the last house. Obviously, they were too small to put away their own laundry at the time, but flipping game changer. And the more you can get the children involved in helping to do things like putting away their own laundry, then the quicker they're going to be independent and get things done themselves. So the toilet rolls are because we need to refill the ones upstairs. I don't know what my family does for the toilet roll, but the amount of toilet roll we go through is nuts. I keep 2 in this cupboard, which is physically inside the bathroom. So if you're inside the bathroom, you're not caught short if someone's used the last of it. And then we've also got these hanging things, which I think they were from IKEA, and they just hang off the shelf. These socks, you're thinking, why are you putting socks in there? See these little funny hanging things? I think they're from IKEA, and they're just hanging off each other for some extra shelf stuff. And I fill up the toilet rolls into there. But back to the socks. The socks are trainer liners. I wear them. Bella, my eldest daughter, and Will, my youngest son, both wear the same size socks as me, and they're just neutral trainer liners. I ended up buying the same for everybody to go on trips, and then I thought, well, I'll just keep them in this central location rather than one person hoarding all the socks in one of their rooms. So the socks that pretty much anyone could wear, because I can't differentiate who's a whose, just go in there and then anyone can grab them. Obviously they all have their own socks that are unique and specific to them too, but these very generic socks live centrally because why not? And then they're easy to pair up because they're just millions of the same pair of socks. There we go. That's toilet roll stacked. As you can see, there's a little place for drying in there, and that's a bit of a warmer space. And then I have a set of baskets that I use. If you've seen my decluttering, my organising, everything, I love to have those baskets for packing. Anything that just needs sorting, moving things room to room, baskets are amazing. We're now going to tidy up in my room, which is a bit of a mess. We recently got back from a trip, and I've unpacked in that I've taken everything out of the case, but some stuff like has just been dumped. I'm going to be honest, it's just been dumped. And some of this stuff has come out of the drying cupboards, the airing cupboard downstairs. This is clean dry bedding that needs to go away. And this is just basic staying on top of it stuff. I do this stuff, not this exact stuff, but stuff like this a little bit every day. Sometimes it's a few minutes here, a few minutes there, but it's all done throughout the day, as in I always do some form of laundry. and some form of running around tidying. I don't always do it for a whole hour in the morning before I start work. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's more bits throughout the day. But let me know if you enjoy these power hour resets, which are just very tidy and clean. You can't say clean and tidy. That's the way we say it, isn't it? We say clean and tidy, but you can't actually clean until you've tidied. So really, this should be tidy and cleans. Anyway, if you're enjoying this, do let me know down below. This is probably a good time as any to say, actually, if you are enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you do me a solid and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because it really helps to support the channel. It is free. And apparently, according to my analytics, over 50% of you are not subscribed to the channel, even though you are watching the videos. Found some more stuff of mine that is now clean and dry that needs to go away. And some of it's not mine. Some of it belongs to the girls, needs to go in their rooms, and just all needs to be hung up. This wardrobe was recently reorganized because I did my seasonal wardrobe switch. I've got rather a lot of active wear because that seems to be all I wear these days. Because I work from home, I have a walking pad under my desk. So I do a lot of walking and working. And another thing I've been doing is putting the hanger backwards when I put things away. And that way, when I take something out of the wardrobe, there's some resistance to stuff I've already worn. It encourages me to wear other things. And also when I do my wardrobe declutter, I can be like, okay, these hangers have not been turned, therefore they've not been worn. And therefore maybe I need to look at moving things on, decluttering them. So that's bedding for Zara's room. That needs to go away in her bedroom, plonk that there. These are pack away bags that have come out of the case. They need to be packed back away because I tend to use those for laundry. So I take them packed away when we go away and I put dirty laundry in them to bring home. I try and sort them into loads before we come home. So I have one bag that's like lights, one light bag that's darks, and then I can just literally chuck laundry on as soon as I get home, because obviously at the end of a trip, I haven't done laundry for however many days we've been away. So if you miss 2 days of laundry, that's the equivalent of missing 18 bazillion loads. If that maths is correct, I think most mums will agree that that's about right. So now I have got a bit of time to do a little bit of actual cleaning. We're going to get to do some cleaning. We've done some laundry, we've done some tidying, got a microfiber cloth and this method stuff. One of my biggest hacks for cleaning actually is just using products that smell nice. That sounds really silly, but I want my room to smell nice. And then I think, oh, well, if I spray this, it'll smell nice. And then once I get started, I'm more likely to keep going. And sometimes this is the thing with cleaning. And this is often why I clean a lot more than I film cleaning. Sometimes the idea of cleaning for an hour or more or all day seems really overwhelming. But honestly, just think if it's too overwhelming to do your whole house, too overwhelming to do an hour, just do one thing. And once you get going, it's easy to stay going. It's easier to keep going. So sometimes I think, oh, it's too overwhelming to start because I've got to do a whole hour or whatever. But if I just think, no, I'm just going to do this one job, I will often keep going for much longer than I thought I was capable of going for, than much longer than I thought my attention span was capable of staying for. Anyway, I'm normally a large fan of clear surfaces everywhere largely because it's easier to clean. You can see now I've got lots of bottles and things on my dressing table and it is more faffy to move everything to clean. But also I'm a firm believer that clutter attracts clutter. So if you see in my kitchen, for example, I don't have much at all on the worktops. Most of it's hidden away. And that's because I feel like as soon as stuff is out, my family take that as a ticket to be like, hey, I can add to this. This is a place where stuff can be plonked. I think because this is my dressing table, I know I'm not going to add to it because I like to keep it clear because I use it every day and then it won't happen. But I know clutter attracts clutter generally as a rule in our house anyway. So I do try to keep most surfaces as clear as possible. But not only that, it is easier to physically clean. Oh, wow, that is really dirty. I clearly need to clean that more than I have been. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Never mind. But then be honest, this is real life. Real houses have dust in them. Real houses do need cleaning frequently, and real houses are probably not cleaned as much as we'd all like. I think that's the honest truth, and that is what I try and share a little bit of here, in that I do have so many different routines that make my life so much easier. And honestly, I feel like I'm finally more on top of able to cope with all the demands of work and motherhood and staying on top of everything that I ever have been because of the routines and things I have in place. However, I think it's also so important to remember real life, and social media can give us this really inaccurate lens, I think, that can be so damaging to all of us. And this is why I think when I have stuff going on in my life, even if it's not appropriate to be able to share what it actually is online, I think it's so important to be like, hey, stuff is going on in the background, although I can't discuss exactly what it is. Oh, by the way, I'm just showing you here, just deviating from what I'm actually discussing. The thing I'm showing you is I've got matching chili bottles in the bedroom, a grey one for my husband, pink one for myself, because we've always got fresh water, and then it looks like it kind of blends. It's like part of the furniture, but we've always got fresh water. Anyway, back to what we were talking about, which is social media. It can be so damaging to think everyone else has got their entire life together and I haven't. And I think the truth of it is there are so many things we can do to make our lives easier, but then we still have to stop striving for perfection, because the only place that exists is in fiction and in people's social media feeds. I think if you look at anyone's social media feed that looks perfect, I would place large quantities of money that if you look behind that feed into their real life, it would not be quite as perfect as it looks. So I think what I'm trying to say is, if you're having a tough time, if you're comparing yourself to people on social media and thinking, why can't I keep my act together? No one's really as perfect as they look on social media, which is why I try and show you the mucky bits, because I think it's important to share what I believe will help and what has honestly helped me and changed my life. The planners I use, I have a planner store, by the way, check that out, link below. But the planners I've used that I've designed myself to work for my ADHD brain have changed my life. The routines I've put in place have changed my life. But is there still mess and real life? Absolutely. And would we really want it any other way? Just plonking that cleaning stuff away. We've not got loads more time now, but I need to take the stuff downstairs. I would normally stick these dirty cloths straight in the bath, but as I'm heading straight downstairs, I'll take it with me and put it in my wet and dirty washing baskets. That's my bedroom looking a bit tidier. We'll just straighten up that cushion and look a lot tidier then. Honestly, make your bed, people, and then look. That looks tidy. That looks clean and tidy. I haven't had time to vacuum. I was going to. I thought I'd have time. I haven't had time, but it's fine. I've done more than if I'd just gone, I don't have time to do it all, so I'll do nothing. And if we can move past this, if it can't be perfect, if I can't clean the whole house, I'm not going to clean any of it, which, hands up, I'm totally guilty of. Just popping some of these things away now in the girls' rooms. I haven't had time to vacuum in their rooms. I wanted to do that today, but I haven't got the time, and still, done is better than best. I think that is important to remember. I'm going to put away this stuff now. These are the toothbrushes that came out of the packing. I always like to run them through the dishwasher because it kind of grosses me out, the idea of toothbrushes with spit on them. Let's face it, saliva is designed to break down foods. There's bacteria and things going to be growing in it. If those toothbrushes, which the toothbrushes live in the cases, by the way, so it's one less thing to pack every time, if they hadn't been washed, they'd be pretty grim by the time we next got to use them. So I just chuck them through the dishwasher and then they go away in the cases. So they've been away to be packed. I'm going to tidy up these few bits and pieces because, again, I like to have clear counters wherever I can. But there's always those few annoying things that you can't dry properly. They've got to stay out to dry. So it's just a case of trying to stay on top, putting those things away. If you are loving all the chat, by the way, about getting organised and routine and just making life easier, I would love, love, love it if you come and join me inside of my Organised Life Club. It's the perfect space for connecting with like-minded people who are going through similar things, lots of which are from neurospicy households. So we can support each other, but also I do monthly planning sessions. We can plan together to make the most of the month ahead. And I'm doing a monthly workshop looking at a different area of routine every month. So for the month of May, we are looking at a routine reset where we're assessing where we're at. If the routine workshop has already passed by the time you see this video, then that's absolutely fine because you can catch all the replays of all the workshops. There are workbooks to go with each workshop. And then in June, I think we're looking at mealtime routines and how we can make all that easier as busy families, especially when we've got picky eaters. And well, that is a lot of people, not just families with neurodiversity, but I know picky eating and mealtime routines are challenges for lots of family. So that's my reset done. I am now about to go and film a house tour. So if you want to have a little look around my house, because it's 5 years since we moved here, then click on the video on screen now. I'd love if you join me inside of my Organised Life Club, or click on another cleaning video if you want to keep cleaning with me. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.